Hello and welcome back to Obas Trending Gist, your go-to channel for in-depth analysis of the hottest topics in Nigeria. Today, we are diving into the heart of national development, infrastructure. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, recently made some bold claims about President Tinubu's infrastructure revolution, asserting that no region of the country is being left behind. But are these claims backed by facts on the ground? We are going to break down what the minister said, examine the evidence, and give you a balanced critical take. So stay with us as you take a watch.
Mr. President has done extremely very well in road and bridges infrastructure. And I promised that I was going to publish all the projects that are over 10 billion across the entire country. I'm trying to be very correct in what I'm doing, and so that will come next week. And you will be able to see the great things that Mr. President is doing. No section of the state or country is left out in his infrastructure development, road and bridges, wise. And let me announce, so that you also be able to track what you are doing, that the Abuja-Kano, there are two lots. The first lot is 118 kilometers, 256 billion. 75 billion was already paid by Mr. President, 30%, and work is going on. We've done over 30% of that section 1. Section 2 is 164 kilometers, that is 502 billion, and Mr. President has just released 30%, which is about 150 billion that will hit the account of the contractor in the next 2 days. And so we have directed the contractor to expose his commitment in not less than 6 sections doing the same thing, because we gave 14 months for that work to be done. Not also done, Mr. President, released also 30% of the Enugu-Onitsha road, which is 72 kilometers. That's 150 billion. So 45 billion is being released, to the contractor. We also have the Abuja-Kano rehabilitation, 22 billion, 30% is being paid, for the work. We had, channel, we note that somebody was demarketing me on the washout between Bauchi and Jigawa. And fortunately for me, the president has since released, money to cater for all the 4 sections of the road between Bauchi and Jigawa, and also released money through Sukuk for the Gombe projects. That has been done. And it's also important to announce that the Nembe-Brass, the president is 156 billion, the president has released 30% for that. When that job is done, there will be no more either boat or flight to the oil rigs. So it's a very good news that is going on. Of course, we are about completing the Bodo-Bonny, which is 35 kilometers, 200 billion by Julius Beja. So that is a big plus for the Niger Delta oil, rigs operation. And of course, the much talked about Ibadan, Ife, Ilesha, is that is 108.4 kilometers by 2. The president has released 30% of that money. The Ilesha to Akure to Benin is 256 kilometers by 2, 761 billion. 30% of that project has been released. We are working on the unfortunate incident that happened at Kefi flyover. I visited there. We lost 3 lives there. We've, settled with the families. There are no pressing charges. It's very unfortunate. And we have started the reconstruction of the bridge. One carriageway has been closed down, to traffic. And so there's so much, to talk about, in terms of what Mr. President is doing. Lagos Shagamu Tore, project has been, awarded, and 30% is being released. I will not bore you because you are going to see things, for yourself. But are we always and anytime, any day, stage a debate with anybody that wants to darken council without knowledge in terms of roads and bridges infrastructure? The president has done extremely very well.
So there you have it. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, painting a very rosy picture of the current administration efforts in road and bridge construction. He promises transparency with a list of all projects over 10 billion naira to be published soon. Let's quickly recap his key points. He lauded President Tinubu for doing extremely very well in infrastructure. He then went on to list series of multi-billion naira projects across different geopolitical zones. For the Abuja-Kano road, he mentioned two sections. The first, a 118-kilometer stretch costing 286 billion naira, has supposedly received a 30% payment of 75 billion naira, with over half the work completed. The second 164-kilometer section, valued at 502 billion naira, has also had 30% of its funding released. He also touched on the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, a critical artery in the southeast, a 72-kilometer road costing 450 billion naira, for which he says 45 billion naira has been released. He also talked about the Abuja County application project, which he said is valued at $22 billion, has also received 30% payment. Furthermore, he highlighted projects in the northeast, stating that funds have been released for all four sections of the road between Bauchi and Gombe. For the oil-rich Niger Delta, he pointed to the Nembe-Brass road in Bayelsa, a 156 billion naira project, and the near-completed Bodo-Bonny road in Rivers State, which is a 200 billion naira project by Julius Berger. He also gave updates on the Ibadan-Ife-Ilesha-Akure Bini Road, the Lagos-Shagamu Ijebode Ore project, of which that one I can confirm that work is ongoing there because I passed there the other day from Shagamu upwards, and the rehabilitation of the Abuja-Kano road. Finally, he addressed two recent incidents: the unfortunate collapse of the Kefi flyover, where 3 lives were lost, and the washout on the Bauchi-Jigawa road. He assured the public that the government has settled with the families of the victims of the Kefi incident and reconstruction has begun. He also said funds have been released to fix the Bauchi-Jigawa road. Now, let's give the critical take. The minister's presentation is certainly impressive on the surface. The figures are huge and the list of projects is long. But as always, the devil is in the details. First, let's talk about the no region left out claim. While the minister listed projects across various zones, there have been strong criticism from some quarters, particularly from the north. The Arewa Consultative Forum, for instance, has alleged marginalization in the federal budget allocation for infrastructure. They pointed to the 2025 budget, where they claim only a small fraction of the total road budget was allocated to the northeast. This directly contradicts the minister's narrative of equitable distribution. The Minister of Works has countered this claim, stating that 52% of four legacy road projects are in the north. However, the perception of marginalization persists and is a significant political issue. Next, let us look at the project timeline and funding. Many of these projects were inherited from the previous administration and have been plagued by delays and funding gaps. For example, the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano road rehabilitation has been ongoing for years, and the completion date has been shifted multiple times. The minister himself has acknowledged that the previous administration left a debt of 1.5 trillion naira on ongoing road projects, while the release of 30% of funds for some of these roads or for some of these projects is a positive step. It's crucial to ask if this will be sustained to ensure timely completion. The Enugu-Onitsha Expressway is another case in point. The project is being funded under a tax credit scheme with the MTN, but there have been reports of poor funding and execution, with the government even threatening to terminate the contract. A completion deadline has now been set for May 2026, but it remains to be seen if this will be met given the past challenges. The Bodo-Bonny Road, a critical project for the Niger Delta, has been under construction since 2014. While it is nearing 80% completion, there have been contractual disputes over cost variation. This highlights a recurring issue with major infrastructure projects in Nigeria: the constant review of contracts and the potential for inflated costs. The minister's promise to publish a detailed list of all projects is a welcome move towards transparency. However, true accountability goes beyond just listing projects. It requires regular verifiable updates on the status of this project, the contractors involved, the amount of money disbursed, and the quality of work being done. In conclusion, while it's evident that Tinubu's administration is making efforts to address Nigerians' massive infrastructure deficit, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, appears to be very hand-on. It is important to approach this pronouncement with a healthy dose of critical optimism. The numbers are impressive, but the real test will be in the timely and cost-effective delivery of these projects to the benefits of all Nigerians. We at Obas Trending Gist will be keeping a close eye on these developments and will continue to bring you factual and balanced analysis. What are your thoughts on this? Do you believe the government is doing enough in terms of infrastructure? Share your comments below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Obas Trending Gist for more insightful content.